Hey Aries, it's MJ from Ultra Love TV. Happy to be here with you guys. Excited to get into the month of July. I have an Aries sun, so I definitely be resonating. Actually, I have Aries conjunct. Actually, it's a loose conjunction, but Mercury and my sun in Aries. So there's some Aries energy here too. Let's get into it. Again, I'm MJ. I'm the founder of Ultra Love. I run this YouTube channel. I do daily readings. I tend to promote those here on the tube, patrons, and also Instagram tends to get the dailies. Instagram, Ultra Love Apparel. I had one summer where I just went social media, internet, technology berserk, and then I got frazzled out. So it's one of those things as an entrepreneur, you eventually learn, like, do what you're good at, and then eventually other people will show up to help with what they're good at. Usually what other people are good at, you're not very good at, so it works out. The behind the scenes tech is one of them. So divine guidance and love and clarity for my lovers. Divine guidance and love and clarity for my Aries lovers. Again, if you don't resonate, don't take it. You know, only take the messages that resonate. You're your own master. You're your own PowerPoint. Your world is within your perception, right? Divine guidance and loving clarity. Ideally, we can meet with that unified space, right? With that balanced masculine, feminine energy. I watched there's this guy on YouTube called Emilio Ortiz. He's a fantastic interviewer. And I came across him because I saw in my feed an interview, I think, with Lee Harris. And I've been a long time listener of Lee Harris, and I've done a few courses with Lee as well. And so Emilio, and then that sent me down Emilio's channel. I'm subscribed now, and he did someone I'm not even like a huge fan of necessarily, but he did an interview with Billy Carson, which got me right back on the manifestation energies. And then yesterday I watched an interview which, if I'm honest, I thought could trigger me supremely. I'll share it on the creator post page or whatever, you know what I mean? I'll share it. Oh dear, what was his name? Something Stephanos, maybe, like a Greek name. And he was talking about healing that masculine energy, like core wounding for men, and it was really, really beautiful, really strong, you know. And they talked about that polarity of men's ability to heal their feminine side and women's ability to heal their masculine side, and you know, just how deeply the healing goes from within ourselves to then cultivate healthy, lasting relationships. It's challenging, right? And especially having a lot of compassion in somebody who comes from a deeper level of like wanting to understand rather than just like, he's a dick or whatever. And he really shone light on that, about the where that energy comes from. And there's a sense of compensation. Anyway, go watch it if you're into it. I'm going to pull cards for Aries, divine guidance and loving clarity. Let's get in. End of a cycle, Aries. What a start. What a start with that. 10 of Swords. There's always this funny feeling of whoosh, but then yes, because the 10 is the end of a cycle. This is truly finishing up, closing these doors on this energy, which Aries, for you guys, this is about probably like multi-level friendship, love a friend, business friends, like all levels, and people that pretend to be your familia, right? So we're soul family, we're friends, come be part of the tribe and pay me a whole bunch of money to do right? So there's this is all about rising out after integrating aspects of betrayal. And again, these can be traced usually to core wounds of rejection and abandonment, because we tend to overcompensate. And then people will trigger those wounds, right? Of being abandoned, of not being good enough, of not being deserving. But that energy is finally over. Now, for some of you, you may well start to heal this energy and start to open up for love. I'm hearing just 2 more cards to start pulling from this deck to get a little bit more what's going on with the month of July and Aries. so much sword energy. I kind of feel like there's this sense of like, you might be looking back, but you don't need to communicate. So you might be looking back at like different situations that happened. It doesn't mean you need to fire off thank you notes to everybody or forgiveness notes, or just, it doesn't mean even if you're conflicted about something from the past, it doesn't mean you need to communicate. Something, I feel a blockage in the cards. I feel like you might want to reach out to that person. You might want to give somebody a piece of your mind, right? But there's sort of a blockage. It's sort of being like, let the past be in the past and move on. Look back, reflect. Fair enough, but don't go back and try to bring it into your future. Integrate that battle, right? Integrate that lesson, integrate that expansion fundamentally as well, right? When we survive these cycles and rise like the phoenix, we've expanded our consciousness. So if you are in the live chat, if you are here, any of my patrons, then feel free to press a like, right? Press a like and help the algorithm. Apparently, I only hear this from other YouTubers. Apparently, when you like it in the Patreon or the pre-recorded or the live here now, it helps the algorithm when I finally publicize it and put it out. Who knew? You learn, right? You learn just from watching other stuff. Okay. I do feel like just tapping into a little bit of the love energy. I feel like for some of you there could be a little bit of a sadness, especially if you're dealing with this. You just need a bit. You need a chunk of time to really heal from that. As in, that's why I don't go rushing back to I've forgiven and now I'm free. There's some sort of just like, let yourself, you won this battle, you survived, you're a survivor. Don't go rushing to make communication with, especially anybody who's involved in that cycle of you being stabbed in the back or feeling. This could be, again, did I say this in this video? But like, this is potentially, again, getting involved in the wrong circles where there's like people that are really nice to your face and they talk shit behind your back. That's why. Because this is about people that you might think you can trust, but you can't trust. In Aries, you tend to be a bit naive sometimes, or impressionable, or you're the newbie innocent bubby of the zodiac. You don't have time for those more nefarious agendas. You're just like, I want to do it, I'll do it. And then you're probably one of the signs less likely to want to gossip because it's just boring to you anyway. But this is that thing of like, just because you've managed to forgive somebody or move on doesn't mean you need to go tell them. Doesn't mean, these are people that might be nice and shiny to your face, or might pretend to be really sensitive or spiritual, and they're actually just jealous, or they're actually like bypassing stuff, right? So just listen and don't go rushing back, especially if this is a sword from somebody that brutalized you. It's like a business partner or somebody that you were in business with who pulled the rug out or who did some shady deal. You're not likely to go back and do business with that person, even if it's like sort of transactional. And briefly worked with like a mentor energy, and it's just they like, and this is almost embarrassing to admit, because they were dangling the carrot, but they would be like 6 hours late for meetings, and I would just be there with a team of people like, sorry guys, like it's like, no, but I can do this and I can do that, and I'm like, really? Because in the moment you're just treating myself and my peeps like poo-poo. So we got the heave-ho. It's just like, you know what? Dangle the carrot away. This is becoming toxic. The carrot is rotting as you show up late for meetings. There's no point. There is no point. And then you really do, you question people's like intention. Obviously, you think, well, one, they probably were lying about their skill set. And two, like, there's other probably lies about what their intention was or what, and I realize it's not something I'd really dig on, but like, people can get pretty funny when they think they have power over you. And that's something that I, again, with that innocence or with that naivete, or when you're just a bit, vulnerable and open and innocent, and you confide and trust in people, there are people that, like, they'd be like, ooh, I wonder what I can get from this person, or I wonder how I can manipulate this. And I straight up, like, wouldn't want to think that of humanity. And there's probably weird and wonderful reasons why people might do that. Usually something to do with insecurity and lack and pain and trauma. However, doesn't excuse the shitty behavior, you know? And any of us can be dealing with situations that warrant shining light on other people's shames, or, right? Because that's what usually stimulates our transformation, right? Doing things that our own ego would never want to admit to do, and that becomes so burdensome that we change the game. You know, we start doing the healing because we end up in situations that our personality or upbringing we never thought we'd get into, right? If we make it out alive, because or eternal life, Shazam. I'm gonna move on to another deck now. Okay. Let's get this card a little bit more clarity. Again, the dominant theme here is to do with a kind of mental breakthrough, but the mental breakthrough is ushering in a bit of a clear out of some of your social working or creative entanglements, people that you work with, people that you talk to every day, people that you're like, whoa, no, I'm not going to go do that anymore. And again, sometimes we need this, because this is how we can start to see clearly, like, who's got my back, who doesn't. People that bail when we really need them, or people who, people who bail when we're in the dumps or when we're low. Those are not people we want around anyway, right? So we don't need to go back there. You don't, again, need to, oh yeah, that came through as well. And I can see 9 and then 10 here. So yeah, part of that mental energy and possible gossipy, less than desirable social life, distracting social life, people who are like, hey, yeah, you're really cool, and then behind your back they talk smack about you. And that happens in creative, professional, friendship, and of course romantic relationships, right? We can often find out information where we realize, I think they were competing with me, or I think they were actually jealous of me, or they didn't want me around for XYZ, right? So again, once we noodle that out, even if it might be triggering some of our own core wounding, we can usually excavate as well what lack layer that projection or action or behavior was coming from an other. And so it can kind of help us disintegrate that sense of they're just trying to be mean, or she's just a horrible biatch, or whatever it might be, right? You're definitely ending a cycle here, Aries, and rising up. You will, this is like a lover's energy, but to me, it's also that sense of like finding partners, finding people that we can fly home with, right? So the end of a cycle, this is a difficult cycle as well. You might be very lonely during this phase as well. You're a little bit in the dark around the direction, but the light is shining through. The light is, yeah, you are worthy. I'm gonna take that. There is this sense, I'm getting this real sense, like imagine this person trying to get up, right? Whoa. It's gonna be just like, holy Shazam, I'm just gonna take some time, okay? Like I'm not gonna rush this process, because you can't really. So just a few more cards here from each deck. For Aries, you are worthy. I'm just hazarding. Again, you just trust yourself, listen to yourself. But I would say not to, I would just giving yourself a bit of time to maybe drop into some nice spiritual practice, self-care. It's all one, really. Like, to me, it's all, people distinguish as spiritual. And like our whole existence is miraculous and spiritual. It's just living in the heart. It's being connected to your heart. That's being connected to your honesty. That's being connected to your authenticity, right? it doesn't have to have a form, although there is an essence to that form because it tends to quieten life down, and you tend to not want to do as much harm and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway. So this is a slow release, right? So you start to heal, you gently come back to self, and then eventually there's going to be like a lift off. Eventually there's going to be a sense of, okay, I'll move in this direction. Okay, I'll go on this trip. And there's this infinite possibilities. Definitely. The crocodiles come out next to that 5 of Swords. Honestly, for some of you, you have dealt with some shady lovers. As in people are not nice. Like people that lurk around. And that maybe, like, you fell into a swamp of crocodiles and it's been a near escape, but you've sussed it and you've bounced, you know, like you got out of that. And crocodile energy is just people that vibrate on a certain reptilian level. Like they're not evolved. They smell your light and they want it, and they want to keep it in there so they can eat it. And then the moment your back is turned, chomp, chomp, right? So straight up, you guys, give yourself some time because you've been in some crocodile infested waters for a while, and no shit, it's probably been really, really painful. Because people you think are friends are not your friends. People you think you care, they don't care. So you've got to protect your eggs. You've got to protect your life force as you move forward in the world. One more card. There's a sort of Aries, and because we have the nodal transit coming into your sign, I would dare say you're being initiated to independence, as in, and I don't mean that like my idealistic mind means like we can be our true, authentic, independent self in relationship when that relationship is healthy, when that other person is vibrating that same desire for growth and authenticity, right? But if they're pretending, they're giving you like, oh yeah, I am that, but then they're not, and they just want to feed off of you. That's not it. And I kind of feel like that's part of the energies. And the Storm card here. Ooh. So I'm hearing the message of like, be prepared both ways for sudden inspirational hits or downloads that shift your tempo or shift gears a bit, or maybe put you on a different timeline. But also be aware of messages and stuff coming in from other people. Try to make sure you're endeavoring to hold your ground. I don't think anything in this reading is saying make an impulsive, foolish decision. There's no fool card here. There's a take space. Look at all the surroundings. Know that there are possibilities, even if it might seem pretty dark. The light is slowly shining through. The spiritual practice, meditation, self-care will help. Remind yourself that you are worthy for everything that you desire. And know that you'll eventually find your match, but for now, just take your sweet time coming back into that little cocoon so you can heal from all these scary crocodiles. So, happy July. Kind of an intense reading, Aries. I'll Shazam yourself. You guys are amazing. Have a great, great month. If that did resonate, feel free to book a private reading. You can do some yoga with me, EFT, of course, the tarot, and even meditation and breath work as well. So feel free to get in touch for any of those services, you guys. I love you loads. Have an awesome day and look after yourself. Take care. Peace out.